We met through a friend's introduction and decided to get married just 6 months into dating. Our friends worried if it was a bit too soon, but Emma was 29 at the time, and really wanted to get married. Therefore I wanted to make her wish come true. I was head over heels in love with her and didn't want to lose her for anything. My decision wasn't wrong. Our married life has been going smoothly. One day, about 3 years after our marriage, work at a client's place finished early, and my boss told me,
"You've been doing a lot of overtime recently. You can head straight home today."
I bought Emma's favorite cake, excited to head back home. She had the day off from her part-time job and said she would spend the day relaxing at home. She's probably watching one of her favorite movies. Imagining her happy face, I returned home and unlocked the front door. When I entered the living room, I found a strange men's jacket on the sofa. But there was no sign of anyone in the living room. Whose is this? Could it be a burglar? Feeling anxious not seeing Emma, I cautiously looked around. Then, I heard her laughter coming from the bedroom down the hallway. Relieved that she was safe, I suddenly felt a chill down my spine. She might be in that bedroom with the owner of the jacket. Listening closely, I heard Emma's voice.
"We can spend another hour together, right? I wish we could be together every day."
It was a sweeter tone of voice than I had ever heard from her. My legs began to tremble, and I sat down in front of the door. My head felt cold and even in pain. After a few minutes, as the trembling subsided, I wanted to get away from there as quickly as possible, and I rushed out. There was an unknown man in the bedroom. Emma was having an affair. Faced with the undeniable fact, I didn't know what to do and ended up crying out loud as I walked. After a good cry, I called one of my trustworthy friends. I felt like I was going to break down if I didn't talk to someone. My friend came over right away and after hearing my story, advised,
"You should look into that more closely."
I was scared to know the truth. I still wanted to believe in Emma. But I couldn't just let it go. I gathered my courage and hired a private investigator. During the weeks waiting for the investigation results, even talking to Emma normally made me nervous. Seeing her smile became painful. For the first time since meeting her, I felt that way. A month later, the investigation results were damning. Emma had been meeting the same man several times a week. Her affair partner was a married man, 20 years her senior. It seems he was her boss at a company she used to work for. Their relationship had been going on for over 5 years, even before she met me. I was shocked to the core by the investigation results. She had been connected to that man when we met, when we started dating, and even when we decided to get married. That day, as soon as I returned home, I confronted Emma with the investigation report. I wanted to hear her excuse. Maybe there was some reason behind it all. Even at this late stage, that's what I was thinking. But she just twisted her beautiful face and scolded me, saying,
"Why would you sneak around investigating?"
I was devastated by her words and left the house, leaving the divorce papers behind. From that day, I started staying with friends, moving from one to another, as I began the proceedings to divorce Emma. Wanting to avoid meeting her directly, I asked a lawyer to handle the divorce proceedings on my behalf. The lawyer proceeded efficiently, and the divorce was finalized quickly. I demanded compensation not just from Emma, but from her lover as well. If it led her lover to leave his wife, perhaps I was unwittingly supporting their affair. But such thoughts were no longer of any concern to me. After the divorce, I honestly cried a lot and was deeply depressed. Losing Emma and being betrayed by her was just too sad, and I ended up staying home all the time except for work. One day, about 6 months after the divorce, my boss worried about me, and forcefully took me to a swimming school, saying,
"Moving your body will help you forget the bad stuff."
Despite the ongoing chilly days, the heated pool felt surprisingly comfortable, and it softened both my body and mind. My boss was not good at swimming but wanted to swim with his kids at the beach next summer, so he had been attending classes for a few months. I hadn't swum since my school days, so I thought it might be a good change of pace and decided to join. The instructor assigned to me was a woman named Monica. She was young and had a wonderful smile. Her teaching method was clear and easy to understand. Above all, watching her swim was so beautiful that I couldn't help but be mesmerized. Maybe it was her teaching, but I quickly mastered swimming and became deeply engrossed in it. Swimming allowed me to clear my mind. Seeking that sensation of forgetting everything, I started going to the pool frequently. Whenever Monica saw me, she always greeted me loudly. Among all the staff, she was particularly pleasant, always greeting me with a radiant smile. She seemed very diligent in her work, as I often saw her quickly cleaning the corridors and reception area between lessons. She was such a bright and pleasant person. I took a liking to her and naturally found myself watching her. Then, one evening after working late, I left the office around 9 p.m. On my way from the office to home, I passed by the swimming school I usually attend. I hope I can go swimming tomorrow. As I was thinking so and about to pass by the building, I was startled. I noticed someone crouching in front of the swimming school. Wonder what's wrong. Maybe they're feeling ill. Concerned, I parked the car and approached it. Then I realized it was Monica. She was crouched on the sidewalk, seemingly searching for something. Are you okay? When I spoke, she looked up, surprised.
Oh. Edward.
Recognizing it was me, she flashed her usual smile.
I dropped my earrings and was looking for it.
She answered shyly as she crouched down on the road. What do they look like? I'll help you look.
Oh, thank you, but that's not necessary. It's already late, and I can't bother you with this.
She hurriedly shook her head in refusal. Seeing her vehemently decline, I couldn't help but burst into laughter. I squatted down anyway and started looking for the earrings. Conceding, she then said,
They are blue earrings with a dolphin on them.
Minutes later, she herself found the earrings under a sign in front of the swimming school. The moment we found them, we high-fived each other and smiled, exclaiming,
Yes!
Then, we left there and dropped in a coffee shop together. By coincidence, it seemed we lived in the same direction.
Again, thank you so much. I appreciate you sticking with me despite being tired.
Over the coffee, Monica thanked me again. No, it was nothing. You found them in the end. I'm sorry I couldn't be more helpful. I replied, feeling a bit embarrassed. She smiled but looked concerned as she asked,
It's gotten quite late. Aren't your family worried?
The word family made my heart ache, but I shook off the feeling and answered cheerfully, I'm divorced and single, so don't worry.
Oh. I see. I'm sorry.
Her expression clouded, so I quickly added, No, don't be sorry, please. I didn't mean to bring the mood down. But the divorce happened about half a year ago, so I'm okay now. I regretted mentioning the divorce. I chastised myself internally.
Actually, my parents got divorced about half a year ago, too.
She continued, her expression still somber.
My dad left home after the divorce. The earrings I was looking for were a gift from him.
She moistened her eyes with sadness and gently touched the earrings she wore.
It turns out my dad had been cheating for years. My mom couldn't forgive him. So, when they divorced, she threw away everything related to him. Home, his belongings, and even his last name. She doesn't want to hear it ever again.
I could only offer a non-committal, I see, as she tried to mask her pain. The close time of the coffee shop was approaching. I was at a loss for words for Monica, who was still hurting from her parents' divorce, but she seemed to sense that and smiled brightly.
My maiden name was Ranger, a pretty unique one. I really liked it because it sounded cool.
At that moment, my heart froze. Ranger? The surname, which I couldn't get out of my head for a while, was the surname of Emma's lover. Her lover had a wife and a daughter. His daughter, who was more than 20 years older, was supposed to be an adult. Could it be, Monica is the daughter of the man I despised?
How's your dad doing now?
I asked with trying to sound calm, and she looked down to say,
I don't know. After the divorce, he was also kicked out of the company run by my mom's family. So, no one knows where he is or what he's doing now.
Her profile, as she spoke matter-of-factly, seemed to be holding back tears, and I couldn't bring myself to ask anything more. I had sent a certified letter to Emma's lover, Ranger, to demand compensation. Surely, that had contributed to the collapse of Monica's family. Monica looked worried as she peered into my face. Probably because my expression had become very rigid.
Edward? Is something wrong?
I tried to respond to her kind voice, but couldn't find the words, and it was the time the shop closed. As we exited the shop and I was about to get on my car in silence, Monica called out with her usual bright voice and a smile.
Thank you so much for today.
I thought.
She's really a good girl.
I watched her, trying to smile back, but couldn't manage a genuine smile as we separated. Her family name is Ranger. It's a pretty rare last name, and the timing and circumstances fit perfectly. Monica is the daughter of Emma's lover. There's hardly any doubt. To me, he was the worst person, but to Monica, he was her only father. The dolphin earrings she cherished were proof of that. She talked about being separated from her father with such sadness. Despite being the cause of her pain, I couldn't get her smile out of my mind. The next day, I quit the swimming school. I had become afraid to meet Monica, but I couldn't stop thinking about her every day. I couldn't forget her smile. About a month later, as I was driving home after work, I saw Monica in front of the swimming school, just like the day we searched for her earrings. Before I knew it, I parked the car at the school. When she saw my car, she ran straight towards me and looked at me with earnest eyes.
Edward! Why did you stop coming?
Her expression on the verge of tears made me falter.
Because you found out my father was the man your ex-wife cheated with. Is that why you started to dislike me?
Her tearful accusation took my breath away.
Did you know about me?
I said. Did she approach me knowing who I was? Holding a grudge. For her father's revenge. My mind swirled with murky speculations. That's when I noticed people staring at us arguing by the roadside without reservation.
Come in.
Not wanting others to see her crying face, I instinctively introduced her into the car. She looked seriously into my eyes. Despite the situation, my heart wouldn't stop racing. As I started the car, she softly answered my earlier question.
Honestly, I did think it was the same last name as my father's affair partner. But there are so many Smith. I never imagined the husband of my father's affair partner would be so close.
She explained, wiping her tears and with her nose turning red. After the day we searched for her earrings and parted ways, she wondered if she had said something wrong because I had acted strangely. That's when she connected the dots about me being divorced and her father's affair partner having the last name Smith. Though it seemed far-fetched, when she went home and asked her mother showed her the certified mail I had sent. Seeing that, she realized I was indeed the husband of her father's affair partner.
I'm truly sorry about my father. I've wanted to apologize to you ever since I found out the truth.
She said, tears falling as she apologized. I felt a tightness in my chest. She had done nothing wrong. The ones at fault were those two who had the affair. Their thoughtless actions had caused us so much pain. You don't need to apologize. I avoided you because I realized I was the person who separated you and your father, and I didn't know how to face you. I shared my honest feelings with her. Hearing my words, she cried even more.
It's not your fault. You're too kind. The one at fault is my father. I believe the punishment he received was justified.
Tears streamed down her face as she spoke, resembling a small child, and my heart clenched tightly. I had wanted to meet her all that month. I wanted to see her bright smile. Yet, I was afraid of being despised for the truth. To be honest, the wound from the divorce was deep. I harbored a lot of hatred towards your father. I shared my true feelings, and I could feel her stiffen. But, it was you who healed me. You softened my rigid heart considerably. Maybe all the bad feelings dissolved and floated away while I was swimming, right? I joked, wanting to see her smile, and she looked at me in surprise. Your smile healed me. And I've always been amazed by your beautiful swimming. I candidly shared my thoughts, causing her to blush.
Thank you. I also enjoyed watching your robust swimming style.
Robust swimming style. Is that a compliment? I muttered, feigning sulkiness, and she hurriedly nodded. She seemed to be both crying and laughing, but at least, I felt an immense joy at meeting her at that night. The wound her father left in my heart hasn't completely healed, but his daughter Monica has certainly warmed it. Despite the immense confusion the odd coincidence brought, I want to continue seeing her, following this sincere desire. The following week, I started going to the swimming school again. Monica's swimming was as beautiful as ever to mesmerize me each time. Several times a week, it became our routine to leave together. The hands we naturally held, I never want to let go of again. Opposition from others or societal judgment, our future might be filled with various challenges. Still, I want to cherish these moments together, finding our happiness as we go.